Alright guys, here we go. We have our juk or congee. It's a little thick now. I've been waiting for a minute. It's cooled down. So I've got the rice, I've got the scallions, green onions, and for flavoring, we've got shiitake mushrooms that have been rehydrated with some black fungus mushrooms, and for a little protein, have some mussels and some pork. So let's have a look. Let's have a bite. Some flavoring, I put in a little bit of soy sauce, some oyster flavor sauce, and lots of black pepper, because pepper makes everything go good. Every bite's a little bit different. You've got that mushroom flavor. It's hot. This is great on a cold day. If you're not feeling well, this is a great sick remedy, just like chicken soup. It's rather bland, but it's super flavorful when you bite into something good like a piece of mushroom. Hey folks, welcome back to another Noob Reviews. Today is going to be an interesting video. Today I'm going to give away one of our family secrets on a recipe, and it's going to be rice congee or jik. So folks, sit back, get comfortable, because it's going to be a simple vegan, if you wish, recipe with 0 fat, 0 salt, and only 130 calories for the whole dish. Alright, so let's get started. First we need some rice. Let's go wash it. This is just standard basmati rice. You can use long grain rice, short grain if you wish. And what I'm doing is putting roughly about a knuckle of water over the rice, and when that boils down, you'll have a very good rice. Alright, let's get this on the boil. Alright, our rice is done. We'll put this off to the side. Okay, and the main ingredient to flavor the rice congee is onions. Doesn't matter what you have left. These have had better days, but they're still usable. I'm going to cut those finely chopped, and we'll put them in as flavoring. Number 2, optionally, of course, everything's optional, but I'm going to layer it with flavor with shiitake dried mushrooms. I'm going to reconstitute them, chop them into nice little slices for a punch of flavor. Next, we have, again, another Asian specialty, the dried black fungus, wood ear fungus if you want to call them. There's lots of different mushrooms out here. This is just one of them. Again, you can get this. You could get this back in the day at Loblaws and No Frills, Farm Boy, I'm sure they all have it. Just go and find it in your favorite grocery store. So we're going to take a handful of this, we're going to reconstitute it and slice it up into small chunks. If you haven't seen it, look at the fantastic macros on this. No fats, no calories, no sodium. Lots of fiber and lots of iron. Again, looking for black fungus or wood ear fungus. And shiitake mushrooms, I think everybody's had this before. Alright. Now for the rest of us who want a meat offering, my choice for flavoring is going to be some pork. So we're going to cut these cutlets up into strips and throw those in for flavoring along with the broth. And let's not leave the seafood lovers out of it. I'm going to drop in some mussel. You could use some clam. You can use baby clams, and these will go well with a mussel protein into the broth. So let's get those prepped. And we take some lukewarm water, even boiling, and we put a bowl on top of it just to make sure it doesn't lift because it rises. And we let this seep for anywhere from 1 hour to overnight. Here's our mussels. They've been parboiled. Make sure you wash out all the sand because these are sandy. So add a little bit of salt in the water, but they are ready to go. Next, I'm going to chop up my green onions, and don't be shy, you want a lot of onions. It's not about the color, it's about the flavor that you get from the onions. That may not be enough, we should go get some more. Okay, let's dice these up. So, from these guys to Alright, I've taken the mushrooms out of the water. They are fully reconstituted. Now, I've also taken the liberty of taking off the stems already, because they I find pretty hard. They're still pretty hard, so I'm going to throw these back in the water to get them soaked up a little bit more. Maybe they'll be useful, maybe not. We'll see. And here's that vessel I used. I'm taking out the black, squishing them out. The black fungus, wood ear fungus. And they, look at the size of these things. They're huge now. Remember they were just a little shrivel? Alright, there we go. Now here we have golden broth. This is mushroom juice. Now there's probably a bit of sand all over it, so I'm going to actually put this through a sieve and save some of this water and put it into the broth to give it some flavor. So there we go. Save that. But for now, I'm just going to take our mushroom stems and throw them into the water and let them try to reconstitute some more. Now, for now, we're just going to literally line them up and we're going to put them into small bite-sized pieces. Let's do 2 at a time. Alright, until I slice these out, we'll be right back. And for the woodier, I just like to run my knife through them. Just breaking them down to little chunk-sized pieces. Because this is pretty rubbery. Just the texture is pretty rubbery. I just want little bits. And if you find bigger ones, break them down. It's not a science. It's just whatever you feel like. It just gives a texture to the rice. And obviously the flavor, woody flavor. You know, something like this. If you didn't like the texture, you could obviously dice them finer, but that is up to you. Alright, so we're done. Our garnishes are ready. So right now, the rice has really incorporated very well into the water. The rice has been broken down, but it looks like it's just wet rice. It looks like it's just wet rice. So we need to have the broth, we need to have the rice break down into small little chunks. Now this has been about 10 minutes since I've been breaking down the rice. So right now, we are going to use our immersion blender and break down the rice particles themselves. Turn this off. And yeah, we're just gonna go. And that was it. That little particle is what you want. And this will help the rice break down into more gelatinous form. Now we got to put this on cook, medium low heat for about another 20-30 minutes until it really solidifies. If this is too thick for you, you've put too much rice, just add some more broth or some water and you're ready to go. So let's put this down medium low. Let's boil that for another 10 minutes. Alright, so let's prepare everything together. All I've got is a 4-quart pot. I put in 2 quarts of water, roughly 2 liters, so half the pot. I'm bringing this up to a boil. So once you have your water somewhat boiled, you take your rice that's already been cooked, and all we're doing is dropping the rice in. Well, that was nasty. Dropping your rice into the water. I don't know if you can see that. Without spilling. Ideally, I could have broken it up, but I am going to break it up in here. Now, traditionally, you would have started off with a massive pot like this. You would have dropped in your rice and you would have let this boil for anywhere from 2, 3, 4 hours to bring it up to the consistency. So this is a rapid congee. So I pre-boiled my rice and I'm putting it into water. And what we need to do is let the rice break down into a very gelatinous form. Hence the congee word for gelatinous, I guess. We're going to speed it up. So we're going to let that boil up for a while. Keep an eye on it. This only takes 5 or 10 minutes before it really gets to a bubble. And then you're going to turn down the heat. Because what we're going to do is we're going to speed the breakdown of the process by either taking an immersion blender and blending it, or you can use a whisk, or you can use a mixer. It doesn't, a handheld mixer, just to break it up. So instead of taking 3-4 hours, this will take literally no more than about 45 minutes, and you'll have congee ready to go. Alright, so let's wait for this to boil up. Alright, it's been about 20 minutes, and look how thick and wonderful that looks. Now, you'll need to stir this quite often because it does stick to the bottom as the gluten develops. It is very thick. You can't really see it here, but trust me, it's thick. Again, this is a little watery for me. You can always add more water if you find it too thick, like oatmeal thick. Or, but I do like it, if you want it watery, add more water to have a more soup-like consistency. But now is the time to infuse flavor. First thing I'm going to do is throw in the mushrooms and the black fungus. And incorporate that into it. And don't forget, we need all the green onions. Boom. And there we go. That is the base of your veggie congee. Alright, now we got to heat this up for another 10 or so, just to let the flavors infuse. I find this kind of thick. Let me add some water. It's been another 20 minutes. We're all done. Flavor. We need to add a bit of flavor. So what goes good with rice is obviously soy sauce. The darker the better. There's more flavor. I also like to throw in some vegetarian, either oyster flavored sauce or real oyster flavor sauce. That's up to you. And don't forget, we need black pepper. So we're swirling some color and some, well, much needed salt probably. But the flavor's there. Let's mix it up and let's dish out a bowl. Alright, and the consistency should be something like this. A little wet porridge, but it's super tasty. And I'm going to top it with some sliced pork, because it's not a vegan one, but there you go. And that's our presentation. Oh, let's drop that down a bit. And that's our presentation. Oops, that's our presentation. Folks, hopefully you like this video. Hope you like the recipe. Definitely try it out for yourself. I'll put the link in the description below for the recipe. Until then, don't forget, hit subscribe, turn on your notifications for our next video, hit the like button, Until then, comment below. What did you like about this? What flavorings would you put into your own congee? Peace out.